Good morning. Welcome from Trenton, Florida. Today is January 26, 2021. And I'll tell you what, I walked into the studio here this morning and my partner was just as excited as could be, and I love it. I love it. Folks, let's talk about a good name. A good name. What kind of name do you have? What kind of name do I have? What kind of name do you want? Hey, Coach Lou, a shout out to you up in Bellsville, Ohio. A couple of years ago, I shared this story with him. True story. It goes something like this. I'm in a gospel meeting up in Cleveland, Ohio, actually at the Columbus Street Church of Christ. Just got done on my way back home to Trenton, Florida, flying to Atlanta. And you wouldn't never believe, do you ever know, you ever wondered that if you met someone famous, what would you tell that person? Have you ever thought about that? Well, I have. And on my, I tell you what, on my traveling throughout a lot of places and flying, I have met people. I would consider them famous. Maybe you don't consider this guy famous, but I do. But nonetheless, not being condescending, but I have met many people on my excursions flying in the United States or even across the seas. But nonetheless, on this particular occasion, I'm flying back from Columbus, Ohio, back to Atlanta, and then from Atlanta down here to Gainesville, Florida. But I'm in, this is a humbling experience. This is how it is. I'm telling you the truth. This is it. And we're talking about a good name. So what happened is that I run into the restroom. You all know how it is when you're going to catch flights from flight to flight. What you want to do is get to that restroom, get out of that restroom, and get to that line to get on that plane to get home. You've been there, those who flies. You understand, you frequent flyers. Well, when I went into the bathroom, it was just me in the bathroom doing number one. And I'm noticing another guy walks in, just me and him, and he's beside me. And yes, there's a divider beside me, okay? But nonetheless, and I thought, wow, this guy, who's this guy? This guy was head and shoulders above me, like twice head and shoulders above me. But nevertheless, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm saying is this, is that I looked up at this man, and I knew this man had to be someone, some type of a superstar, an athlete, someone who was in very good condition physically, because his biceps were unbelievable. And so I looked up at him. Yeah, humbling experience. Yes, that's just what it is. And he looked down, and here's what he said. What are you looking at? And I said, excuse me? He said, who do you look at? I said, well, I'm looking at you. Because you have to look up at him. And he went like this, or he said this, do you know who I am? And I said, I think so. And he said, well, I'm the king. And that's how he said, just like that, looking at me, he said, I'm the king. And I looked at him. Do you ever wonder what you would say to a superstar, to an athlete, to a country singer, to someone who is a celebrity? Because I'll never be one. And that's okay. I understand that. But I call this a godidence, not a coincidence. So as I looked up at him, I said, yeah, I think I know who you are. And he said, I'm the king. And I said, oh, no, you're not the king. And he said, oh yeah, I am the king. I said, oh no, you're not the king. He said, who are you? And I said, will you do me one favor? Now remember, this is all in seconds. It's all while we're using the restroom. And I said, you look up. And LeBron James looked up. And he said, I said, he's the king. And he was very nice. He wasn't condescending. And he put a smile on his face. And he looked down at me. And he said, do you want my autograph? And I said, no. But now I kind of wish I would have had his autograph, you know? And you know, yesterday, he went back home and he dropped 46 points on the team that he played for. But the fact of the matter is, wherever he goes, if it be at Miami, Cleveland, he'll drop points on anyone. He's 36 years old, and he's an outstanding superstar, and I'll tell you what, he's a very good basketball player. But there's more to life than that. There's more to life than me, and there's more to life than you. What do people see in your name? Truly. Because according to Proverbs 22 and verse 1, a good name is where it's at. And when I was talking to him, you know what I thought about? I thought about Proverbs 25 verse 6, where when you stand in the presence of a king. Now I understand that's talking about royalty, but hey, this was a physical stature of a being, athletically a king. But what would we do if we had the chance to stand in front of a king? Because I think this is what needs to be said. Right here. So I would like to close by saying this. Whoever you're in front of, whomever you're in front of, let people see you for who you are and what you are. See, I can turn to Acts chapter 4 and I can read this verse in verse 12. And folks, it simply says this: neither is there salvation in any other, for there is none other name under heaven given among men whereby we must be saved. And when you go back up to verse 7, we realized the predicament that these people were in. But you know what? They stayed focused. They were strong. Thank you for listening to this. And on this day, may we walk forward and may we tell the people about the name who is above all names. There's nothing wrong with that. This is good. This is good. Bless.